I want to go through and specifically nail down some creative concepts of consistent church growth over the last 7 years. And I've kind of had a unique privilege of being a pastor's son, plus a staff member, and now a senior pastor. And I've been a senior pastor of a mission church. I've been a senior pastor of a now full-fledged autonomous church. And many of these principles are principles that we've learned from making dumb mistakes. And we will make mistakes, as I said earlier, and be ready for them. However, if you make a mistake once, don't make it again. That's really not very smart. And I think these concepts will really be concepts and things that you can transfer wherever you are, no matter what denomination, no matter what style of ministry. And I don't buy into, let me say this, the seeker-targeted, seeker-sensitive thing. I think all churches think about the unchurched to different degrees, and that's what we do. But I've never really understood the difference between the targeted and the sensitive. And that's a whole other issue, but let's jump right in. Number one, and this is one of the first things that God showed us to do in this church. Wow, I sounded like Joel Osteen, didn't I? This is my Bible. But, the funny thing about Joel, I love to imitate people, and he tells these goofy jokes, cheesy jokes that work. Cheese works, guys. And he told this basic joke one time. I like to start off with something kind of funny. Why'd the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. He always kind of laughs afterwards. I
laugh after myself.
You do.
I do.
I love Joel, though. I've known him for years, so.
Great,
anyway,
great.
Here's what we're doing, Lisa. Lisa and I helped start Fellowship Church 35 years ago. Our first Creative Church Conference was in June of 1997. And the reason that we started a conference was not just to have a conference. It was because we both attended several conferences, and we learned a great deal from these presenters. Principles, precepts, we were inspired. Yet, when we came back to our church, we felt like, wow, we're failures. Because things cost a lot, and sometimes people don't like things, and even people leave the church. And wow, in these other churches, in these conferences, we never heard that. So I guess they just have it dialed in. Well, as we got a little bit older, we got to know some of these people and looked under the hood, and we realized, yeah, they are struggling and have struggled with the same issues we are. So we thought, okay, let's do a conference where we talk about the things that, nothing off color or too graphic, but let's talk about the things that we talk about, when we're sipping coffee at the break, or maybe we're texting back and forth. So that's why we started C3.
And I would also articulate, Ed spoke about creativity, and we were doing some creative things, and this is in the early 90s, and we were gaining attention for it, and it was like, really? This is something unusual? So I feel like we kind of came in a back door with creativity because yes. Ed was a fine arts major at Florida State, so he's a painter, he loves the arts, he loves creative, he's a very creative thinker. But once we started implementing, I would just say two things. Our church began primarily because of the experience that we had at Florida State. Ed wanting to have a church where his Florida State teammates could understand the message and receive Christ in a clear and compelling way. Also, that church would not be boring and that creativity could be dispersed throughout. So with that fine arts background, so the Florida State background, we began Fellowship Church and people started to take notice. Well, we came to realize that, we're not being creative because Ed is creative. We saw the biblical command for creativity, that church should not be boring. If it is, it's not God's fault, it's our fault. And so that's kind of the back door. Also, I'd like to say, during a lot of those formative years, I was not as involved as I am now. I had a daughter. We came up to Irving with one daughter, one dog, and a car, and a marriage, and cluelessness. And so along the way, then we had our son, and then twins, and I was kind of, do I have something on my
Just
shirt?
a little bit.
Okay. So anyway, now I'm much more involved. At that time, there was a lot going on behind the scenes in my life.
Yeah, you were involved, Lisa, and Lisa has a brilliant strategic mind. In fact, of all the people that I've talked to as far as thinking through things, she's as good as I've ever seen, in anyone, even in the corporate world. And she obviously weighed in on so many important decisions. But yeah, when you're starting out, as many of you know, one kid, one car, we had rented facilities.
Rented house.
Rented house. You have to be creative with your facilities. You have to be creative. I mean, with worship, with how do you utilize volunteers, and how do you treat them like staff, and you can't dock their pay. How do you do all of those things? So we just began to walk in it, and I wish I could tell you that we had this template, or we saw someone do something exactly like we were doing it. No. Did we learn a ton from people? Yes. We took what we learned, we tried to, and put it through our personality, and then it began to do what it's done.
So the question that we ask is, does what worked then still work now?
Isn't that a great question? I ran across this old tape, and I was laughing at myself, and I'm like, 23 creative concepts for consistent church growth? Wow. I'm thinking that's
not 24,
yeah,
not
we were like,
22.
I was like, that's way too many concepts.
But we're going to do them, aren't we?
For consistent church growth. But then I thought, I wonder if we're still doing today what we did in 1997. I'm going to submit to you that there are some absolutes, there are some constants when it comes to creativity that we build from. God's a God of order, and from order, you have creativity. You don't create your way into order, you have the order. Remember 6 and 1, but now it's 1 and 6. So let's go back once again to 1997, and let's see what Joel Osteen had to say. Here's the first thing I had to say. Number one, and this is one of the first things that God showed us to do in this church, draft impact players. When you go to a church, if you are a senior pastor or a staff member, make sure you draft impact players. I'm talking about influencers. I'm talking about people who are leaders. Leaders, for the most part, will not come up to you and volunteer and say, oh, choose me, choose me, choose me. You got to go out and check them out. Check their 40 time. Check their bench press. You know where I'm going. And you ask them, you challenge them to jump on board. Yes, we still do that exactly, yes. Lisa.
Yes, and whether it's a volunteer or it's going to be a hire, you want to look and see the depth and capacity of that person. But they typically, for a volunteer, they will not volunteer.
No,
you have
the
to
best
make
ones,
them become a volunteer.
You got to go find them. And you have to teach your team to be initiative takers. You have to teach your team to look for those difference makers and those influencers, and you put the influencers and the difference makers in the right spot. Number 2, throw a change up. I read a book. Well, I read the title of a book. If it ain't broke, break it. I enjoy change.
Yes.
That's kind of who I am.
I do not.
Talk to us about that.
Well, personally, do you want to do it?
Yes.
This could be a therapy session, because, it's like God has such a sense of humor. I do not like change. I am the most, I would normally be the most planned out person you've ever seen in your life. I would have a schedule, a calendar. I would even set alarms on my phone. But I would just operate that way. But because I'm married to Mr. Change, then I have learned to adapt. And the good thing about that is I need to learn to change.
And I need structure.
And Ed
you
needs
taught me structure.
So we've complemented. God brought us together
That's
to iron sharpen iron and to help one another in this. But change is good. Change gets people out of their comfort zone. It gets me out of my comfort zone, and it helps us to dream about what's possible.
Change is something, Lisa, that usually brings a little bit of tension, a little bit of conflict, as we have seen and talked about before. Change, conflict, but I like to say if you navigate through the conflict, usually there's growth. However, a weakness of mine would be change, and a strength of mine would be change. A strength of Lisa's would be thinking strategically, and she would also say sometimes it can be a weakness. So that's where you need the right they around you to evaluate your thinking. So if you want to make this change, but I think sometimes when people hear the word change, they think of these giant, broad-brushed, huge, sweeping changes, and you're going to hear me say later, small tweaks take you to giant peaks. It's the small stuff.
Yes.
Let's go to number 3.
Develop double vision. Break that one down.
Well, as I said in my talk earlier, honey, I didn't really unpack this, but we have tried to lead like our church is a lot bigger than it is presently. Mm-hmm. So when we had just 100 people, I pastored it like we were running 1,000. And that's why I told you earlier that we had no staff, yet we did. We had volunteers. So already I was giving people the picture of, okay, here's what it looks like when we hit 1,000. We will have at least 7 full-time staff members then. I mean, hopefully we will. And so you begin to show people that, and then you teach it, because when people come to you, because you're the guy, you're the man, you're the franchise player.
Or if they come to me. As a pastor's wife, I sometimes am more approachable, and people would come to me and ask.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got to be willing and able to point them in the right direction
Yes.
as well. But one of the things that you did so well in the early days of Fellowship Church, and we came from a very large church to start Fellowship Church, it was quite a culture shock for us. And part of that culture shock was that the people that were gathering around us did not have the insight into what was possible that we had. We had seen bigness. We had seen a large church.
We'd seen vision.
We'd seen vision. We'd seen all of these things. And so when Ed would speak at our newcomers class, which is what we called it back then, I guess we still call it newcomers class.
It's a very creative name.
So it's for newcomers, and they go to a class. And what Ed would teach is that he would not know every person's name. Once you get over 200 people, you will not know every single person's name or their dog's name or all the kids. You're just not going to do it. Nor are you able to go to the Sunday school class parties or all of the events that you might get invited to as the pastor that they may be accustomed to. So by saying that up front, it gave them an understanding. They didn't have to figure it out by us not showing up. They were given that ahead of time. So you were leading like it was double.
Yes, and that just really set the tone for where we are today. And we try to do that today as well. And you can break it down. It's not just church-wide. It's in every department, whether it's preschool and children, whether it's our small groups, whether it's our mid-sized groups. We've just started some mid-sized groups over the last couple of years, and they've exploded. What I mean by that is we have Bible study classes that meet on Sundays in some of our space. And some of these classes have 20 people, some have 120. It's been a great thing for us because we found that a number of people will go to mid-sized groups a lot faster, especially in today's crazy world, than they will into someone's home, and sit there.
Right.
No, I'm not dissing small groups. You know how much I love small groups. But I'm saying mid-sized groups, they've been a real win for us, and I would encourage you to do that. So we have laymen. We have staff members to teach these classes. We have a curriculum. We have someone on our team. In fact, it's Tian Moon, who's a brilliant theologian who writes the messages out so no one goes off the reservation theologically.
But there's great curriculum. I mean, we have
Yeah.
curriculum on creativepastors.com, but there's also great curriculum through other areas as well.
That's a cool thing that we're doing. I don't know
Yes.
how I got off on that, but let's go to number four. Number four, Lisa, pyramid growth through big events. Pyramid power.
As you're growing your church, think about how you can creatively consider a big event where you draw lots of volunteers that help people learn about your church and help them to understand how great Sunday would be. Like, I'm attending this great event, and perhaps it is a Sunday event, but you have this great event and everything pushes toward the weekend, and you're creating momentum, you're creating enthusiasm, you're creating opportunities for people to serve. And we have found throughout the history of our church, and we still do it now to a degree, that big events can catapult you into growth. Some of the big events that
we still do it?
Yeah, we still do
Yeah.
big events. No, I know, but yeah.
But maybe not. Yeah, what you're saying is maybe there's not as the desperation like it was, 30 years ago.
we were
But Lisa, the first big event we did, this little girl is a genius. Tell us about.
I'm patriotic.
Yeah.
I'm very patriotic.
I mean, yeah.
I am extreme.
Red, white, and blue are her colors. Yeah, she is. Okay.
And so when it comes to the 4th of July, I mean, I'm just telling you people, I was raised where my father, who served in World War II, he was a tank commander in the Army.
Yes.
So my dad, he taught my sister and I to love America. And every 4th of July, we sang happy birthday and had a birthday cake for America. No joke, happy birthday.
that's
My
so
sister
great.
and I would roll our eyes, but I'm telling you what, we're ready for the red, white,
World War
and blue.
II tank commander, as you said. I mean,
yes.
yeah.
So
Where are those people today?
Wasn't Brad Pitt the
Unbelievable.
tank commander in some Fury or something like that?
Yes.
That was my dad. So, but the first one was Celebrate Freedom. 4th of July was coming up. Our church maybe ran 300.
Maybe.
300 to 400 people. We were in rented facilities. There's a beautiful place in Las Colinas called Williams Square.
In Irving, Las
In
Colinas.
Irving.
Where the
And-
horses, the statues, you want to
and
see
the
them?
fountains. And so this is big square. And so I told Ed, I said, what if we did a 4th of July gathering at Williams Square, and we did fireworks and we had all this? Well, the first thing that pops into your head with such a creative idea is, who's going to pay for that? How are we going to have the money to do it? We didn't have the money to do it. We didn't have a credit card at the time. The church did not have a credit card. And so there was a radio station in the area, KLTY, and they, that was the Christian station that I knew about. So we made a phone call and said, hey, would you guys like to partner with us and do Celebrate Freedom? And so that was how
Her
it
idea.
began. It began, Phil Driscoll was our first
Of course, people
artist.
have stolen this. It's okay.
Well, I mean, as we decided.
They've hijacked the idea and they've made a fortune off of it.
No, we decided our run with that was over, that we had done it after.
But tell them, Lisa, though how amazing it was, because we have like 400 people showing up and we roll out this big event. KLTY is promoting it. We're doing the heavy lifting.
The heavy lifting.
We had every person in our church to volunteer.
And we asked if they had family.
Yeah.
Get their family, no, I'm talking about extended family.
It was unbelievable.
Aunts, uncles, grandparents.
Do we have a picture of it? I think we might have
I don't know if we
a
have
picture. Okay.
That's the first
That's
one.
we had our little children standing up there. And
Patriotic
then, look at the people.
songs. So the
Our
city
church
of
had
Irving.
400 people at the time.
The city of Irving estimated like 15,000.
Who knows?
showed up. We had a KLTY.
Sounds like a pastor estimating, but
Yeah. There's the horses.
I'm not sure there were 15,000 there, but-
KLTY did the fireworks, and so if you're in the Dallas.
Outreach Magazine would say that. If I was turning it into Outreach Magazine, I'd say 15,000.
Okay, but anyway, all of that to say, that was one of them. Hoop for Hopes, the Oklahoma City bombing.
Hoop for Hopes. Yes, sir. Tell us about that, honey.
That was when.
Who was that shooting? What great form.
There's Troy.
Who is that? Is that my best friend Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin?
Yeah, there y'all are.
God, our arms are about the same size, too. Troy's asking me, how do you get those triceps like that? That's what he was asking me.
Yeah. But what happened there is there was the Oklahoma City bombing, and Troy is from Oklahoma. There were many who were just devastated. There was one particular family, I believe, that lost their husband and father, and so we decided to do a fundraiser. And Ed had played basketball with some guys, and the Dallas Cowboys had a team of basketball.
They'd never been beaten,
Never.
undefeated. And Pastor Mac Richard was running the show, who pastors the great Lake Hills Church now. He's on the front row, and you can talk to him later about the details. But
he was on staff at that time.
He's on staff at this time, yes. And Mac was the one that led this whole thing. We packed it out.
At Coppell High School.
Oh, we had every, from ESPN to...
They donated the facility because it was for Hoops for Hope, for this family. It was packed out.
And we're in rented facilities. We don't have this.
Yeah, but it just shows you what you can dream of and then see how.
And we won. We won. We won.
Another big event.
I scored 27.
Doing Good Friday. Good Friday in the park. There's a park in downtown. It's called the Park Built in the Sky, where Dallas created a connection between uptown and downtown.
Yeah, that's Clyde Warren Park.
There's Clyde Warren Park. And so Ed and I went to the grand opening, and I said, Ed, how cool would it be? See,
brilliant.
I'm more creative than I give. I didn't score myself very good on that.
You are ridiculously creative.
But what would it be like if we could have a Good Friday or have a church service down here in the park? And so we were able to do it. We don't,
and seriously, we have had crowds there a couple times that were 15 plus thousand. Okay. Seriously.
I'm gonna skip this one.
But again, we had to ask ourselves this question. After 4 or 5 years, you got to change it. It's like, who is showing up? Then, okay, sounds so great. You know, Good Friday in the park, you have whatever, 10, 15,000 people. Wow, you know, our pastors, we love that. 15,000. And you're speaking and you can't even see the, wow. Well, you cannot really pass out anything there at the park. You can't get anyone's information at the park. There's no offering at the park. I'm serious.
We worked around some of it,
and then
they could go to a booth to get information if they wanted to, but we could not solicit other. But what I'll tell you with Celebrate Freedom, with Clyde Warren Park.
But I want to just say too, listen, how we stopped doing it, which was brilliant. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we had to ask ourselves, is it putting butts in seats on Sunday?
I don't like the word butt. I like bottom.
I never said that until I heard you say it.
Oh, okay.
So, we put derrieres in seats, and if derrieres aren't in the seats, is it really worth the time, effort, energy, the manpower, the money? So you have to ask yourself, okay, why do we do what we do?
Yes.
And I'm willing to cancel it
even
if it's not meeting the goal, because none of these things are about the thing.
Right.
It's about people coming to the local church to have a relationship with Jesus and grow in Jesus. So all of that's fun, sexy, we got on the news or whatever, but so what? So what?
Yeah, and then at Easter, honey, then you have Easter. So you have this massive event. We're as Owen Goff used to say, one of our pastors, we were dragging our can afterwards. I just did that just for those who know Owen. And we're all tired, and then we have Easter, so
you just have to weigh
cancel it. Another event we had, a big event. I want you to know that we're still doing this today. We had this creative marriage conference. I'm not a big marriage conference guy. That's not like, hey, let me go to that marriage conference. That's just kind of not me. I love marriage.
Thank you.
But I'm just not like, but we hosted a marriage conference here, and it was okay. It was a solid conference, but and then this ministry, they were like, well, we don't want to do it anymore. Would you guys take it? So we took it. So we took it, and we took it to an H&L. Those hoodies, you've seen those holy now the level, because we brought in phenomenal speakers, and the marriage conference was so great. It's so great that even guys would connect. Because sometimes marriage conferences can bring in soft serve guys, and we don't want that. So we want
all people.
You want all
if you're
people
married, we want you to be there.
You want guys to be, attracted and connected to it. So we looked at the analytics, and I'm not going to give you a number because I try not to talk about numbers, but I will give you this number. I will. No.
A large number.
A large number of people. 1,411 people. No, that's not the attendance. Okay, 1,411 people. Think about this. Live in Dallas, Fort Worth, and they're not members of Fellowship Church. So as I said last night, not only was it a marriage conference, let me tell you something. This conference was awesome. I would go back, it was that good. Every speaker just ripped it, man. They shucked the corn. It was awesome. So we're gonna do it again. Already for next year, we have 1,500 and some odd registrations.
But the thing about those 1,400
paid, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
But for those 1,400 people that aren't involved in Fellowship Church, it's our responsibility to make a follow-up call and say, hey, are you attending church anywhere regularly? And if they say yes, we'll go, hooray for you.
And we did stuff that, you have to do stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do. I mean, I don't like a silent disco. I'm not gonna go out there and dance. It's just not me. A lot of people love it. And you have to get out of your comfort zone and go, it's not me, but they like it, and good for them. So another one we did.
That's in the student ministry. One night, the mix, which is a huge
it's incredible.
thing.
This the student ministry led by pastor and counseling psychologist Sam Kelly. We have this thing called One Night, brilliant, where Sam challenges the students and the mix at all of our different campuses to invite one person. And then we have a great time of worship. Sam shares the gospel in a creative and compelling and authoritative and beautiful way. And we've seen massive amounts of kids come to Christ and get involved here and get baptized and discipled and walk in sanctification. Now, the reason that's a big event for us though, honey, is we thought, okay, we're building an anchor center. Everything's vision, right? Vision. Everything's vision. So we're building this anchor center, and we've committed a certain amount of money for this. So we thought, what a great time to bring our donors, people who've committed over and above their regular giving, to make this happen. So we met with them prior to the One Night, because they'd never seen One Night. I mean, they might have seen some videos or whatever, but we wanted them to see, touch, smell the vision. So I stood up there, gave a little sermonette. Sam did, Lisa did, and then.
I was sick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What I'm saying, you were sick. You never get sick. You had vertigo, but yeah, I mean, Lisa's a genetic marvel. So
anyway, they sat up in the balcony and they watched the mix.
But I want to give the details too. That's brilliant vision. I didn't think this up. Think about it. All the donors sat in one giant section up there. And to see, it makes me teary thinking about it, what God did. They're like, oh my goodness gracious. So not only are you like, oh, vision, here's these cool anchor things coming down and all the technology and you can give to that. Well, that's great. But man, you come in and see it. So with vision, you gotta, say it, spray it, wheel it, deal it, make people feel it. And our next creative idea is this.
I want to stop right there because I'm gonna add something. There, you see the difference between those big events. Some of them were apart from a normal scheduled something. Easter can be a big event. Your Christmas Eve experiences can be a big event. One Night is a big event, but it's in the context of our student ministry's normal Wednesday night. So every visitor got a taste of what normal is. And so that is important with your big events, because as a big event stands on its own, And if it doesn't point people to the weekend where they experience normal, then there's no point to do the big event. Okay.
And so what we're thinking about now doing is one night, obviously we'll do it again, and then maybe have one day, that Sunday. Maybe we say to the students, Sam's gonna say, all right, everything we're doing right now, we're doing it Sunday. But here's the situation, and this sounds like a braggy, but we have so many students here, we don't have room for that, and we need to figure out how to make that happen. But I think that's a brilliant idea, getting the adults, getting their butts out there to invite their friends. I mean, look at what the students are doing. So anyway, big events work. We still use them. You have to be smart with it. Also, go for promotion. Number 5. I mean, that's just promoting. You know that. I mean,
for social media,
we still promote.
And on your social media, show a plethora of things. Not just a preaching clip. Not just show ministry. So people, if they're following, they can see it. Have your team promote as well, and then.
And also too, I beg you guys with social media, do not read the comment section. Please. Let me say it again. Do not read the comments. They'll take you to a dark place as you dumpster dive with evil. Don't. I have a lot of weaknesses, but one of my strengths years ago, I said, I will not read like negative letters, or I'm not gonna read, when people send some positive stuff or positive DMs or comments or whatever, someone on our team might say, hey Ed, so-and-so said so-and-so. Awesome. I do not read the comments. It'll mess you up. And I was talking several months ago to a pastor who pastors a massive church. And he is struggling with this right now. And I can tell by talking to him, my heart goes out to him. I'm like, when I have a chance to talk to him longer, please don't take that satanic bait. I just wanted to say that because it's bad. I like social media, but social media is more bad than good. It is. Okay.
Number 6, build a big, shallow end. The first 3 weeks that someone attends your church are critical because they're kicking tires. They're deciding if they're going to find a home here. So you want to have a big, shallow end. You want to have places for people when they come in. Let's say they say, hey, I want to be a part of Fellowship Church. And they join the church, and then they want to serve. There needs to be places where someone who is not a seasoned Christian can come in and serve. And Ed mentioned this just this morning in the first session about seeker sensitivity. Oh, no, you just said it in that little clip right there. About seeker sensitive. I hope you caught that because there's been a huge run on social media by, I believe, well-intentioned people. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt there, that are criticizing seeker sensitive churches. And I'm like, man, this is so frightening. If we ever get into a position where we are not considering the far away from God who's thinking, I need something, I'm seeking something. Jesus came for those who were far away. And so it's sexy, it's cool, it's all this, hype, well, you can't talk about certain things if there's seekers. They need to hear the truth. The truth is relevant to everyone. And the seeker, the saved, the seasoned, it's true for everyone. So,
and think about this, Lisa, and when churches walk in creativity, you will get criticized. What's so funny is it's one of the most theological, deep things we can do is walk in creativity. And I've just given you a little taste of that with Bezalel. But Prestonwood, okay, it's a massive church. I've known Dr. Jack Graham since I've been 17 years old. The hate that they have gotten for their Christmas extravaganza is an absolute joke, a joke. They do more for the kingdom of God than almost any place I know. They help the poor, they share the gospel, and they're walking in creativity and innovation. I'm sick and tired personally of people attacking you. But you know what? I don't have time. I don't have time to dive in that dumpster and go back and forth with these people. But you just have to know those are your mean, I hope they're Christians, but mean Christians, and you have to stay away from them. But what's so sick about social media is any young person who doesn't know up from down can go on TikTok and you think he's an expert. This guy's an idiot. I mean, he's a theological moron. So that's who we're dealing with. So guys, stay away from it. I had something come up on my social media today. I get up early today, scrolling through. First thing, I'm like, oh, I just kept going. So anyway.
So number 6, build a shallow end. Yeah. Number 7, put on your shades. Always teach the vision, the vision. People forget why you do what you do every, 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Every 3 weeks. Your staff.
I forget what I do. We forget what we do.
We forget it. So you have to continually remind people, what is the vision? What is the mission statement? Our church is built around the table. Dave mentioned the allegory that we've written, but there's messages about it, but we are structured around a table. You have the pastor or the dude with the food, dudette with the food. Then you have the first chair, the person far away from God. You have the second chair, which is the new Christian. And then you have the third chair, which is the full court follower of Christ. That's our structure. Everything we do, the vision of Fellowship Church, goes with the table. We also have a mission statement. We reach up, which is worship.
Yep.
Reach out, which is evangelism. And reach in, which is discipleship. Those 3 things. That's the vision of Fellowship Church. People will come to you with ideas. What if we did this? What if we did this? Okay, here's our grid. The table, the vision. The table, the vision. So make sure you have your shades on.
Also, number 8, I love this one, honey. Go to the World Series. We try to preach and teach from knee high to tree high in series. And we look at what we've done like a menu. I'm gonna run through these very, very rapidly, just some of the series that we've done recently. One was called Bold, sharing your faith. Now, wait a minute, Ed, I thought you have a lot of people coming to Fellowship Church who don't know the Lord. Yeah, and we talk about sharing our faith. And there's a way to do it. When you think about what we're supposed to say and how we approach it with people who've been believers for 20 years and those who haven't even stepped over the line yet. So yes, you can talk about evangelism.
If somebody's sitting in the seats, Ed will say something like this. I know some of you are here and you're just checking church out. Maybe you don't have a relationship with Jesus. We're teaching about this because we care about you.
Yes.
And so that's how he'll follow up.
No theology. No theology. We talked about theology. I'm talking about from the Trinity to what's the difference between justification and sanctification and glorification. All of those things, people ate it up. Even the people who were on the edge and the ledge, even people some who weren't even Christians loved it. So all this stuff about, you can only talk to believers and you have to talk, to seekers, that's BS. Okay.
Wait a minute, and you know what BS stands for? Yeah. Bad stuff.
Right, bad stuff, not what you were thinking. So.
In the zone, talking about the blessings.
That's
what
the blessing.
What does it look like?
In the zone was talking about blessings and offerings. That's when I had to tell our church, stop, you're giving so much, stop. So.
Questions, under the influence, glass in your lasagna. This was one that.
Under the influence was about drinking.
Oh yeah.
Whether to drink or not. Now that was fun.
Yeah.
I walked up with a beer, I was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
I love that.
We did a series on the book of Romans.
Yeah, the book of Romans.
One on heaven. And now we're in the 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments, there we go.
Okay.
That's beautiful, Lisa.
Okay,
now the next one, number nine. Viva Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas. That is just thinking like a first-time guest. Viva Las Vegas is your signage. The first time we went to Las Vegas, back in the day, we were like, man, they have nothing to say, but they know how to say it. In the church, we have everything to say, but we don't know how to say it. I went to a church. If I mentioned this church's name, you would know it. when we walked in with our staff, because we sneak around and do some clandestine stuff to learn from churches what to do and what not to do, their signage, awful is being kind. They haven't thought through from the parking to where's the worship center to the childcare, just basic stuff. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 10, because we still do all of these so far. Number 10, now this one is gonna be tough, but I have to say it. When it comes to staff, number 10, look inside the house. And I'm gonna go back to 1997 and tell you a story. Number 10, this is about staff. Look inside the house. Look inside the house. The house is the house of God, the church. I believe, for the most part, God equips each local church and he puts the staff members already there, and the leadership must call those staff members out. I firmly believe that. That is the way to go with staff for the most part. Case in point, Owen Goff. Owen owned his own insurance company, and at 52 years of age, we tapped Owen on the shoulder. We said, Owen, how about it? We prayed about it. He is a great pastor in our church. Doris Scoggins, you know, the girl who enlisted all those greeters in about 2 or 3 weeks. She worked for another corporation. We tapped her on the shoulder. She became a full-time staff member. Our business administrator, one of the best staff hires ever, MBA from Baylor. He was knocking it down in the secular world. I had lunch together 3 or 4 years ago, and I just felt a leading from God to present it to him. And then years later, he becomes another pastor. Look inside the house. I really believe that. So
Okay.
Ask God, I mean, who you want to bring to me for a staff member?
I didn't use profanity. I bleeped out this guy's name. That was June 1997. And our business administrative pastor was in the middle of committing fraud right when I talked about his accolades. We were in a building campaign to build this building, and we were way short financially. You've never heard of that before, have you? Because the construction cost ended up being a lot more than we thought. So this guy, at this time, forged bank documents, wire transfers, showed our board of directors and others that this bogus donor had given us $4 million. So we built this building right here based on a fraud, bogus gift. We were getting ready to build the children's facility of all children's facilities, but the Holy Spirit of God, I'm not talking about it in an audible voice, but just told me, Ed, call this guy and make sure the money's in the bank. And I'm thinking, oh man, our board of directors, they're brilliant business guys, and I mean, what? So I called this guy and I said, hey, I feel bad even asking you. I need to see all the money in the account. And of course, he couldn't come up with it. So thankfully, we were able to move him on, and he did the same thing to another church and 2 other businesses. So I still can't believe that, but here's the mistake I made, honey, and here's some mistakes that some of you are making right now when I'm talking. You're hiring the wrong people right now. Because you know what I did? I made a bad move. I didn't check his references. Oh yeah, I knew about him, where he went to school, MBA and all that. I knew about that. And I saw him serve in our church, lead people to Christ. I'm thinking, okay, he's the guy. I didn't check his references. If I told you how many staff members we've moved out of Fellowship Church who are now working for other churches, and we had to release them for some bad reasons, we have never gotten a call from these churches who have hired our former staff members.
I made that stupid mistake one time, and it cost us dearly. I will not make it again. You are stupid, Pastor, just straight up, if you do not check those references and if you don't call. Stupid. I know that's strong language, but I'm telling you, we're talking about things. I mean, well, the church is the body of Christ. We're talking about eternity hanging in a balance, and we don't have time to do that. So, yeah, do we want to see the best in people? Yes. But we have to be as wise as serpent and as harmless as doves. Okay.
But look within your church
Yes.
to find staff, because you forego having to move someone
Yes.
from out of state in, all those different things, if you possibly can. Number 11, go spouse hunting.
Go spouse hunting.
When you're hiring oneness.
Oh,
If they're married.
honey, that is so important.
It's oneness. Ed and I have learned the hard way that just because the person you're hiring looks great, you have to look at the spouse, because they're affected by their home.
You're walking through the woods.
That's important.
There's a spouse. Boom. That's great.
Okay. Pay now. Number 12, pay now or pay later. Just be smart. Look at your community and see what is a good salary, because these are the hard yards.
Yeah, and you know
well.
what? Let me say something about paying now or paying later. We need to be people that compensate generously. We need to compensate our staff, our players generously. And what does generously mean? There are some great groups that do compensation surveys that we use, and I would implore you to do the same. But you know what? You'll never be poor enough for the mean Christians. And that, why do we have this poverty mentality? Well, several things. You got Gnosticism again, and then you have monasticism, from the Catholic Church, oath to poverty, and then you have people taking these oaths to poverty, and so it's become really, really popular to walk in the crack of lack. and I'm not at all saying, on the other hand, where you have the prosperity gospel, where if you're a follower of Christ, money should be raining down. Sometimes God blesses that way, but it's not that, and it's definitely not that. Does that make sense to everyone?
This is number 13, take road trips. Now, we don't do retreats much anymore, but we do staff meetings regularly. Number 14, have a good attitude. Have the
attitude.
Have the ability as a point leader to wear different hats. You might have a friendship hat on at some points with your team. You might have a vision hat on.
Father hat on.
Yeah, because
father-in-law
our
hat
kids
on.
Work with us. Our in-laws work with us.
Daddy hat on.
And then the corporate hat. So be aware.
And that's not easy, is it?
It's not easy.
No.
We have friendships on staff, but they are clear messages of which hat we are wearing at that.
And have you seen our hats out there in the merch?
Yes.
The merch.
Number
Unbelievable.
Number 15.
My favorite, the ones, that hat with the jaws on there.
Look, 2:15. We are over.
Fire. Okay.
See, this is where my structure is in play. Okay. So
Look at this. This is scary. The only person that's smiling here is Denny Brewer. Conduct an IRS audit.
But it's not.
So
it's not the internal revenue. It's the internal response system. How well are you keeping up with people? It's the people stupid.
It's the people stupid.
It's the people stupid.
It is the people.
We are here. That was a political statement by
Carlin,
what's his name?
About that crazy guy, from Louisiana.
Yeah, but anyway, he said that when Bill Clinton.
Oh, what's his name? James Carville. That guy's as crazy as a Betsy bug.
But that's not the point. He said it's the what stupid? It's the
economy stupid.
Economy stupid. It's the people stupid. We're here for the people. To get them saved, to take care of them, to disciple them, all of those things. So you better
be one life at a time.
Checking your checkup systems.
Okay, tell me, I got to tell you this story. Listen, let me interrupt you. We went to see the movie We went to see the movie Melania. Have you seen that? Okay. How many people have seen the movie Melania? No, it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. So we took, that's, Lisa said, I can tell it so much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we went to see the movie. We walk into the theater. There was a lady with a dog. And of course, I love dogs. So I went straight to the back row where she was sitting. Landra was with us, one of our twins. And we said, oh my goodness, can we pet your dog? And we petting the dog. And she goes, oh my gosh, I know who you are. You're the pastors from Fellowship. And I'm like, oh yes. And she goes, I attended Fellowship. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, do you go to the Grapevine location? She goes, well, I haven't been in 5 years. And I said, oh my goodness, well, I hate that. Tell me your story. And I'm gonna try to say this without falling apart, but she told me that 5 years ago, her daughter passed away. 1 month after our daughter passed away. And she said, I was on the brink of suicide. And someone for the church called me and they literally saved my life. I was in the parking lot at Olive Garden. And they called me and we talked through it. And they said, I'm gonna follow up with you. And they never followed up. And you talk about heartbreaking, I was devastated. And I pray that every single member of our team would be devastated because I know how this church took care of Ed and I. But at that moment, it was for her to be taken care of. And she hasn't been in church in 5 years because of that. And I know there could be other things and she may have some problems but we can't be responsible for that. We could be responsible for taking care of the people. So it breaks my heart. So you better be doing a checkup. Checkup.
So that's inspecting.
It's just inspecting and make sure. So we went back. We said, okay, 5 years ago, who was in the prayer and care team?
Oh, we
Who was
traced
doing
it.
this? We traced it back. We did everything we could because guess what? Someone is responsible. And we're not trying to get somebody in trouble. We're trying to say this can never happen again. As Ed said, you can make a mistake, but don't make it twice.
Okay, another one, 16, deal rapidly with staph infection. Quickly and lovingly. People are too slow to fire people. And in the church, you're going to have to fire people to move them on or whatever. And you have to do it biblically, lovingly, and very quickly because the person you need to move on down the line is keeping you from going to that holy nether level. Number 17, watch the leaves. People left our church in 1997. I know it's a shocker. People leave our church today.
A lot of people left in 1991.
Oh, a lot.
They thought it was going to be one thing and it was something different. And
rats off the Titanic.
So people are with you for a season and they're gone for a reason. So
man.
Don't chase them.
Don't
chase them.
Chase down people. And what's tough is when you have a big donor who kind of hints around or kind of messes with you. Hey, I might leave or I didn't like this or whatever. And he's like, no, don't leave. I'll change. I'll become a 5-point Calvinist. I know you've been. I'll do anything. You see what I'm saying to you? You just, bye.
So I'll tell you this, the lady that I met, I got her phone number in the movie theater and I did chase her down. And I texted her several times that week and she was supposed to meet me on a Sunday and then she texted me and she said, I talked with my family and we've decided we're not gonna come back to Fellowship. And I said, you know what? I understand. And here are some great churches in your area that you can go to.
Yeah.
So
and two, being a pastor, how many times have you heard this? I hear it all the time. Hey, I heard it yesterday. I used to go to Fellowship. I go, well, why don't you come back? Oh, I don't take it anymore. I've heard that so much. I used to go to Fellowship. I used to go to Fellowship. I used to go to Fellowship. I'm not mean. I'm like, well, you gonna find the church better? I sometimes do that. If you're bold enough to come up to me to say that, I don't go, hey, you used to be my dentist. You worked on my bicuspid and I don't go to anymore. I go to a place that's deeper. They do veneers. I'm not taking it anymore. I mean, do they ever say that to you, pastors? Do they ever say that to you, come up to you? Okay.
Okay. Number 18, use Mr. Clean. Constantly go through your church and see if it's getting crappy looking. See if it's dirty.
Oh, yeah.
See if it
get dirty.
See if it's excellent.
All those
like God would
tchotchkes and the
expect.
crapla and the gibbledy junk. Yeah.
So make sure of that. Number 19, become childish. Make
Yes.
sure that you have eyes on the children's ministry, what they're doing on Sundays.
It's about the weekend soup. It's about the worship and the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 20, pick up some special deliveries.
Oh, I got a video.
Quick.
I can't. I know I'm running out of time, honey, but it's so fun.
Time's gone. Time's way over there.
All right. Can you tell Lisa's moving me on? She is spurring the horse to the barn. Yeah. Okay. Let me. Yeah, we do. This is funny. Okay. Number 20. All right. Here's what I say. Pick up special deliveries. Okay. Special delivery will be a special day, Christmas, and Easter. Well, I did a video a couple of years ago that people have really enjoyed because it was very, very honest about Easter. With our pastors, it's the Sunday after Easter, and this balcony was packed last week. We had massive crowds, but the people just don't come back. Pastors, I know we felt better about ourselves this last week than any other time. We thought we had it dialed in, but no, they don't come back. They'll be back. Christmas. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. We're reaching a lot of people. I know you are. I know we are. And that's the good thing. But again, they don't come back. But see, we think when they show up Easter, they're going to hear such a great message. They'll be back. No. But one season they came back. When we had back-to-back after Easter, and these weekends were bigger than Easter, Dr. Phil, who used to be a member of the church, did you know that? Oh, he still is a member of the church.
He just doesn't come.
Yeah. No, he said
Get
come.
real, people. Okay.
But Dr. Phil, Tim Tebow, my close friend, that was a joke. I'm
Come on,
joking.
Ed. Let's
and
go.
Cliff Connectley. Now that, but how many times can you do that? Not very many.
Okay. Number 21, join the theme team. We try to keep a theme from what we're doing in this room to what we're doing in the children's ministry and then the devotionals we post online. Number 22.
No, number 22. It's called Tweak Out.
Having a climate of critique.
You remember that song, Freak Out? You remember the song?
Freak out. Say she freak out. Freak out.
I say tweak out. Small
Freak out.
tweaks take you to
But
giant peaks.
remember, criticism tears things down. Critique builds up.
Yes.
So your entire team has to be willing to be critiqued so that everything gets better.
Home Alone, number 23.
Oh, sorry. Home Alone is protecting your spouse and your family with a day off. You can take a day off. You can breathe and spend time with your family because so goes the family, so goes the church. Whoa, we did it.
Man, Lisa, you did so great.
Oh, honey, thank you. So anyway, that was awesome.
But the answer is we're still doing those 23.
Yep.
23 and
We're
me.
still doing the 23 and we. 23 and we. That's what it is.
23 and he.
That's
me,
right.
We, they, them.
That's good. Does that make sense? Good.
Amen. Let's pray together. Father, thank you so much for this, your church, and thank you so much that we have the opportunity to look back and think about the past and think about what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. And Lord Jesus, we give this time, this conference, it's yours. Minister to us, deal with us. Holy Spirit, convict and move and anoint us like never before. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.